We have two Story Slam winners, both from the Clark County region. I would like to introduce the first winner from the Clark County South region. So it is my pleasure to introduce the winner, Jerry Rhodes. Jerry, if you would slowly but surely please make your way up here to the stage. Jerry's dad was a terrific storyteller, and he kept his children enthralled all of their lives. Jerry's degrees are in journalism and history, and by the time he became a reporter and marketing guru, he knew the power of storytelling. Jerry joined Rotary in 2009 in anticipation of making a Rotary trip to Uganda with his brother Larry. Please welcome Jerry and his fantastic story.
Thank you. I've got a wireless microphone on, and I really can't tell if I'm speaking or not, but all right, that's a good way to start. So everybody do that again, and I'll feel really good about this. My name is Jerry Rhodes, and about 13 years ago, I was at a point in my career when I thought that I might have some gifts that I could share with my community and maybe even the world. So that's how I found my way to Vancouver Sunrise Rotary. And about a year later, I found myself on a hilltop actually, in eastern Uganda. And there was about 10 of us there, my brother Larry from Eugene Airport Rotary, and other Rotarians from around the country and Africa. And we were there to meet Michael, the blind man we'd been hearing about, and hear his story. When Michael was a young man, he had been a bodyguard to the president himself, Milton Obote. Now, with that position came wealth and privilege that most Ugandans do not even imagine, but it also bore some risks. So one day when he was with the president on a trip abroad to Singapore, back home in Uganda, Idi Amin took power. And Michael was in exile for almost 10 years. And then, as you know, Idi Amin got booted out, and Obote came back in, and then Michael came with him. But 5 years later, politics being what they were, Obote was out again, and this time Michael himself was at risk. And so he began trudging home, 230 kilometers across Uganda on foot. And there's the Nile River there, filled with crocodiles, and just a few bridges that were guarded by soldiers and checkpoints. Now, Michael made it home using his wit, and he implied by his martial arts skills. But what was there for him? He had no job, he needed a job. And he found one in the nearby city of Tororo. He went to work in a pharmaceutical plant. And they told him when he signed up for the job that you can only work here for 5 years because the fumes are so toxic. So Michael started in and he worked. He worked beyond 5 years because it was the only job really. He worked beyond the time when the tears coming down constantly told him how toxic the fumes really were. And he kept working right up to the time that he lost his sight. Now, when Michael was talking to us, we were sitting around in boulders and logs near his home, and we could look over there, and we could see at the edge of the hill the foundation of the grand house he was building back when he had prestige and power and wealth. And we could look at the view across there, across the rolling green hillside to the buildings on the far hills. And we could also look over here to see the mud huts that was his home under the banana trees. We could see the gray, crumpling thatching on the roof and the mud that was coming off the walls that told the story of someone who did not have the wherewithal to fix what needed to be fixed. They didn't have the money to fix the tears in his wife's dress. They didn't know where they were going to get the few shillings that they needed to send their youngest son through school. They couldn't even find 6 strings for the guitar that Michael was playing. And Michael began to play. Now, he didn't sing the blues, or despair about life's cruel twists. He sang a song that he had written himself about when things are complicated and confused, that's the time that you give thanks and praise. And about a week later, a couple of us went back and shared another morning with them. We sang some songs that we all knew. I think Amazing Grace was something that everybody there knew from Africa. It was just a few of us. And at lunch, they invited us to eat with them. And all they had was a bowl of roast cassava. The next year, my brother went back, and he brought gifts with him. There was someone who had pledged enough money for the youngest boy to go to school. A Rotarian had sent a new guitar back for Michael, and I sent along a couple of sets of extra guitar strings. But I couldn't help but thinking how that we had sent those gifts as just token from our wealth. And what he had given back in that song and that bowl of roast cassava was so much more from their poverty. You know, I could tell you that that encounter changed Michael's life, and it would be true. But I can also tell you that that encounter and so many more Rotary moments after that, it's changed my life as well.